Alright, what we're gonna do is go back. Way back. Well, kinda. We'll start with Buxom and Mogg. Together they had 9 children, 6 girls followed by 3 boys. They named their youngest daughter Maggie. She married Fred. They had 2 sons and 1 daughter. I am the oldest of them. I'm Kendrick.
The middle boy, they named Herbert. Well, his name is Aubrey, but we'll get into that later. He married Deborah, and they had 3 girls. I am the oldest of them. I'm Tawana.
The third oldest was a girl they named Sadie. She married a man named Roosevelt, and they would have 3 kids together, the oldest of which was Darryl. He met and married Antoinette, and they too would have 3 kids together. And with their oldest, they gave Buxom and Mogg their very first great-grandchild. That was me, Martine.
The oldest of them all, and bossy second mama to many, was a girl named Blossom. She married Jean, and the 2 of them had 7 children together. The tallest of them was Jerome. He married Juanita and had 2 sons. The oldest of them was me, Junie. So, y'all catch all that? Anyway.
Hey, cousin!
What's going on, y'all, and welcome to another episode of Hey Cousin. So, in one of our previous episodes in the season, we kind of touched on an interracial relationship that started to show a little bit of friction along the way. And it posed the question like, hey, you knew that your partner was of a different race before you guys even got together, and so did your family. So why then is there so much confusion around accepting that particular partner, right? So then we got into a conversation that led Tawana to kind of showing us a little peek inside the DMs where an individual of a different race reached out to her, and from what we read, and we're gonna insert this little clip right here to remind you guys if you've forgotten, what we read sounded a little bit like fetishism. So this episode is going to be entitled Looking for Love in All the Black Places.
Can I do a parody real quick? Okay, so how are you doing? This me. No complaints. How are you? I'm good, dear. You call me pet already? You already trying to call me a pet? Where are you from? Where are you from? I said I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I live in Atlanta, though. I'm from Florida. It's nice meeting you here, dear. You call me a pet again? Dear. It's nice meeting you here. You look so young, dear. How old are you? This a white man, y'all. Trying to holler at me in the DM. I said I'm 40. You don't look 40 at all. So the conversation goes on. He talks about being divorced. You know, he asked me, have you ever been with a white man? I said, what you mean been with?
All right, so we're going to get into this conversation and talk about kind of some of what's out there, some of what we've been seeing, and no letter this week, but we're going to jump right into it, right? And so, Tawana, I want to hear exactly from you to kind of start us off, like, what your thought process was, and is this the first time that a white man has jumped in trying to get with, our resident Pocahontas cousin, brown Pocahontas cousin?
No, first of all, I don't know. No, I have never really had someone I've had foreigners like Africans or Haitians, Haitian and Italian mix, you know what I'm saying? But they look black, maybe like Dominican, people from, different like foreigners, like them type, but I've never had like a Caucasian man actually try to stop me in my tracks and holler at me. No. On TikTok, in my DM, yes. I've had, like I said, Hispanics and all different type of other cultures, but not white people. um, like we like to say.
Uh,
And but I'm not opposed to dating someone outside of my race, because I believe that, when you're dating, you don't know how that package is going to come. And love is love. You know what I'm saying? Love doesn't have a color, and our spirits actually don't have a color either. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, you can't, if once we die and we go wherever we go, or whatever the case may be, this flesh, this body is left behind, and what is speaking is my spirit, my soul. That's what's speaking to you guys right now. This is just the avatar. This is just a shell. So for me, I just feel like that doesn't have a color. And if someone, if someone slides into my DM and they're a different color than I do not care. I
Yeah.
will be open to having a conversation. I'll be open to dating. I'll be open to all of that, because I feel like that's irrelevant. I do.
Yeah, I feel like black women are less likely to date outside of their race for some reason. But black guys, I know living in D.C. and cities and stuff like that, like I date dated all races. And it's like you said, Tawana, at the end of the day, people are people. You know what I'm saying? So either you're going to evolve as a person, as a whole being, or you're not going to evolve at all. You can't do it like in bits and pieces. So once you start getting to the appreciation of your own value and who you are as a person, you understand that it's like Tawana said, you're in the shell. This is an avatar. This is just something that we're in for the time being. But the energy that connects you, is what really makes lasting relationships. And if you're going by how someone looks on the outside, I think you're just missing out.
I think that I agree with everyone. I feel like when it comes to dating, I feel like you can really find a person who looks completely different from what your type might be, looks completely different from you, and you guys really hit it off and be soulmates. I do want to point out, though, that there is a certain responsibility when it comes to relationships in general, yes, but when it comes to interracial relationships, there is a vast responsibility on each partner to kind of, especially if one of the partners is a black person, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a responsibility on their partner to prep their family and their relations and the people around them for this person of a different race coming in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that it was a situation where it was like everybody felt the way that we do and everybody looks at it like, oh, that's just Sharonda. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you got Sally Mae who might look at Sharonda, you know what I'm saying? And like bring in some of her prejudices and some of the things that kind of have never been directly in front of her in her personal bubble. You know what I'm saying? Because not for nothing, she probably might have thought that she would go her entire life without having a close relation of somebody of another race. So it's not to necessarily hold someone's hand who might not be as prepared for welcoming in a different race person or a black person into their immediate unit. But it's like you have to be cognizant of that too. Like, you got to give people kind of the heads up. And then with that, if there seems to be any friction, any tension, or someone is not completely accepting of your partner just because of the color of their skin, you have to be the one to nip that in the bud, especially if that partner is a black person, because the last thing that you want is for the black person having to throw their weight around and demand their respect and then really fall into the narrative that a lot of other races have about us to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, she just a loudmouth. It's like, no, you got to be the loudmouth for her, or you got to be the loudmouth for him.
So for
Yeah.
me, I'm going to take it back to the North versus South. It's not uncommon. It's something that you see all the time. Being born and raised in New York City is something that is definitely not uncommon. You see it all the time. I mean, I guess growing up for me, it wasn't like, oh my God, such and such is with this person. It was just like, oh, okay, that's what you want to do. But I do agree that there comes responsibilities that you both have where, okay, this needs to be explained to your family. And if there is an issue,
if that's your family, you need to be standing up for your partner, regardless of the fact. So, I definitely agree with that. But honestly, it really, I don't know, it's just not a thing for me, I guess, because I've seen it so often. My sister probably will kill me, but she's with someone who's of Caucasian descent, prior to that, Asian descent. So for us, it's just like, oh, hey, that's just who that is. Like, it's nothing where, and I have younger parents, so it's one of those things where they're also open and they're open-minded, and we just don't think about things like that. But maybe if we were going to a larger gathering with the family, that would be of concern, maybe. I don't know. But like I said, it's common for us, so we see it all the time.
Yeah, I think, yes, like I said, up north is more like normal.
Yeah.
And I guess for the time I spent up there, just kind of like, being in the Air Force and traveling and meeting different people of all different races, I mean, masculinity and femininity are going to mesh regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's up to us to kind of make it, you have to set the norm in your world. You know what I'm saying? So if you're okay with it, most people are going to be okay with it. I think people, just in my observation, they kind of react the way you think they're going to react versus the way you set things up for them to react.
Yeah.
It's not a question about what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So are you for me? Are you against me? Basically, it sounds so rough, but that's just what it is at this point.
I think if we're talking about our family, let's just talk about our family as a whole. We're not going to say anything during that time. The talking is going to happen once the person leaves, right? So
they're going to talk about you.
Yeah, you see it all the time. They're going to be courteous to the person. They're going to say blah, blah, blah. And then maybe later on, you're going to get a text like, wait, that was such and such girl? That was such and such boyfriend? Oh, so what? Nobody. So, I mean, and what's the point of it? Like, what's the point?
I think in our culture, our community of people, we have all these freaking rules. You know what I'm saying? From that has passed on through religion, through Christianity, through not being open-minded. And I think these conversations are important because not only is the conversation being had about different races, but let you bring somebody that may be a little bit older than you, that's going to be talked about. Don't let them be too much older than you. Don't let them be too much younger than you. That's going to be talked about. We talk about people so much, and the choices that they decide for themselves is so sickening. It's annoying. And I feel like we're in 2022. And at this point, we need to get rid of all the stereotypes. We need to get rid of all the rules when it comes to relationships and dating in our culture. You very well could be in a relationship with somebody that's of Asian descent or whatever, and that could be the love of your life, and that could give you the access that you've been needing because, you know what I'm saying? To me, I feel like people and money grant us access to the things that we need, period. And when you're closed-minded, it's like, you might be missing out on a blessing for your life because you're worried about what this one gonna say, or you're afraid or of what somebody's gonna think, or whatever the case may be, when you are the God of your existence. I hold on to that. Since Kendrick said that, it's like I always just be like, I'm the God of my existence. Nobody can tell me who to do, what to do, how to do it. You cannot. I'm not paying it no attention no more. So I think that it's important that we have these kind of conversations so we can dispel these limited belief systems that we have when it comes to relationships.
And are these beliefs, or are these just plain out learned behavior? Because I don't think these are beliefs. I think these are learned things that are passed down, and it becomes the pathology of the family. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And character-wise, like your own individual character, I know my character. I don't give a crap. I don't care. But everybody doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't have that. nature where it's like I could care less about who's saying what or what's saying what or whatever. So, that's something that I agree we need to work on. And why do we care? And the number one people that be talking, they stuff ain't together. So I just don't
They need to
understand.
be the one keeping their mouth shut. They need to be the
Yeah.
one keeping their mouth shut and stop trying to get in people's business.
So
Like,
Shut up your mouth.
you
Well,
nobody want to hear that. Nobody want to hear that. Them times is gone, y'all. We gotta let go of the past so we
it
can,
does. I
bring our
agree.
present
If
and
you're
future.
happy, I'm happy. That I don't care who
Yeah.
right,
like
exactly.
blue,
That's
green,
definitely my.
a crayon. I don't care what the person look like. It does not matter. If you are happy now, if you're not happy, that's a problem,
Right.
right? And it does not matter who the person is. This individual is not making you happy. Not this Asian person that's making, not this Caucasian. No, this individual is not making you happy. That's a big difference. So we just need a different thought process. I'm happy that I've always been open, always had an open mind. I guess because of me being who I am, how the hell I'm going to judge somebody? So, I mean, it is what it is. So,
I do think too that there one of the notes that was in the DM reading that Tawana shared with us was that it seemed though that from the perspective of this guy that reached out to her, he simply was reaching out to her to try and be with a black girl. You know what I'm saying?
The experience. It
Yeah.
seems like he was surfing for the experience of being with a black girl. Now, now this person could have very well been a bot, like somebody to just, get online, steal somebody's profile and reaching out to people just trying to find conversation. He could have very well been a catfish. But based on the information, he said he was divorced. He had 2 young kids. He was in the military. He recently got out of the military. One of his friends was dating and then married a black girl, and his friend talks about this wife so much to him, he's now curious
I'm not,
about.
no, I'm not being anyone little curiosity toy.
Yeah.
No.
Experiments.
Yes.
Ain't no guinea pig over here.
No
Exactly.
way. No.
It seems like
So
Okay.
that's different. That's completely different. So no,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I think we got to talk about that too, because even there's an underlying part of there, like sometimes people don't necessarily intend for that to be their outcome, but also in the back of their mind they are minimizing the gravity of what it takes to be in an interracial relationship. So they just like whoop doo 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 just walking into something and are completely about to implode this other person's life. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not ready for that step. And I honestly feel like if there is an individual out there that is fetishizing another race, they already starting from behind the 8 ball. Like, because they're not going to be prepared to protect that other person in an environment where they need protection from maybe their prejudiced auntie or prejudiced uncle, or even just a random microaggression that now has shifted your entire mood, and they're like, babe, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with you? And then you have to constantly explain yourself to this person who really wasn't in it for you in your particular experience, but was in it for their experience of you.
They perpetuate the interracial couples on these social media apps, and people look at these other relationships and fantasize about the ideology of being with someone outside based on those people's experiences. But that 3 seconds, that 7 seconds, that 3 minutes, because that's all you get on social media. Most of the time, if it's not a YouTube video, all you get is 3 minutes max. And outside of that 3 minutes, what is it really like to be in a relationship with someone outside of the culture that you're used to? Like, I feel like it shouldn't be, I do believe it shouldn't be so much thought. Like, oh, I'm going into an interracial relationship, so I need to know I need to know how to defend my man or my woman. No, I don't think it should be that, but it is something that you should consider. It's something that you should think about. Like, okay, this is This ain't black people shit. This ain't just black people. Like, cause black people, we gotta, like, we speak a certain language. You know what I'm saying? So we get each other. You know what I'm saying? But if you're dating a Hispanic person, or you're dating a Italian person, or you're dating a Haitian person, or you're dating a full-blown African person that was born in Africa, from Africa, but lives in, you know, the United States and has adopted our practice, it's a different ball game, period. Without it being, you know, just the color of our skin. So I think it is something that you should think about, but don't fantasize on the idea of being with somebody else based on a 3 to 7 second clip of other interracial couples online. And I think that's the conversation that needs to be had as well. People are looking at these people and, oh, give me one. Will you get that from Amazon?
Oh God, yeah.
You got that from Amazon? I want one.
Look, they get the right one, they gonna return the sender.
Okay.
Return, full refund.
They gonna go to Kohl's and return it.
Or Nordstrom, you know, Nordstrom's strong on that return too, though.
There you go.
Listen.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's just one more level, because relationships are just two people's energy meshing at the end of the day. So, do you really want to change your whole way of interacting with the person because of their race anyway? How will you even form a relationship if that's like the main focus of your relationship? If you go in thinking that, okay, well, because we have obvious skin differences, you know, we have to be different from other couples. You know what I'm saying?
Even if your skin, because sometimes your skin is not even different. My ex was from Honduras, so we had so many differences. There was a lot of differences,
right.
You know. So I mean, you have to be open to also embracing that person's culture and embracing that person and incorporating that in the relationship. A lot of people aren't ready for that. They want to just do what they do, and I don't eat that. What's that? I don't eat that. So when you're with people like that and they don't, you know, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work at all.
I was saying it was a limited belief system, because if you're not even open to eating somebody else's type of food,
and that's offensive.
Yes, it's offensive. And you're limited in your thinking.
Absolutely.
By not being open to that.
Absolutely. Look at my dad and look at my mom. Jamaican. You know, I mean, yeah, they meshed very well, but they were both open to embracing one another, to the point where, you know, my mom made it her business to cook his favorite meals and learn how to cook his favorite meals. Come on, you have to incorporate a lot of that into the relationship. You cannot be selfish in that aspect, you know, and that's just food I'm talking about. That's in all areas of the relationship as a whole. So, you know, a lot of people, even with me, if, of course, at work and you know, you walk around, it's like, oh, so what does your husband do?
Lord.
So I don't have a husband, but my partner does. She does. Oh, and then here it goes. I always wanted to be with a woman.
No, they don't say that to your face.
Yes, they do. So I'm just looking at them like,
wow. Okay, that's real.
Okay, great. I'm glad I can open you up.
I'm childish. I'm so childish.
There's a lot of interracial relationships in the LGBTQ community.
Absolutely.
Because look at Wanda Sykes and her partner. Look at like, if you just kind of look at all the people that that are popular and we know, you can kind of see interracial couples
you get it all the time. You get it all the time. You get it a lot. When you're at a certain, you know, status in your life too, you really see it with the Caucasian community. Because I'm like, if you met me at McDonald's, flipping burgers, would we be having the same? Bojangles is on every corner.
Probably not.
Same conversation.
Yeah,
you know
probably not.
You know what I'm saying? Because, probably not.
But you know what? That kind of harkens back to what Tawana started saying about the cultures, and when it comes to preparing yourself for a relationship, like, are you ready to adopt the culture? And isn't, like, I guess monetary status another level of culture? Like, you're
Yes.
not gonna have like a
It's
celebrity,
socioeconomic.
you know,
Yes.
like going
Yes.
looking for somebody at the Shake
Yeah.
Shack. Like, ain't no damn way. Get your broke ass on, please.
Now,
But
what I've heard is high value men, they will take a girl from whether they white, black, Mexican, whatever. They'll take a girl from Burger King. If that's what they want, that's what they get.
yeah,
So what
true.
I've learned about men that have, like status or whatever, if they like you, they like you. They really don't care. But for the most part, you're not
You
gonna
don't think
be
women's the same?
women are the
Yeah, I
same.
think.
Women are
Yeah,
definitely the same.
Oh,
Women are
okay. I was
definitely
about
the
to
same,
say.
but it's easier. But so many insecurities come. Like, think about it. Let's just visualize. We're all just, this is the new view. You know what I'm saying? This is the new view. And everybody know us and we don't know them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, once you get to a certain level, it's like, I feel like the access is granted when it comes
Yeah.
to, that's what I said. Access comes in people and money. So once
Yeah.
you get to that next level, you're accessing a whole plethora of different people if you're not married, if you're single
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. But you're
Yeah.
accessing a whole different plethora of people with different mindsets, different experiences, different cultures, different. So when you access those type of people, they're gonna kind of, I feel like those relationships, they have their ups and downs too or whatever, but they're sometimes more successful because of the mindset, because they're on the same level, they're on the same frequency. Like, they literally figured out a way to make it. And once you make it or whatever the case may be, you've now leveled up. So
Yeah.
your experiences are going to be different. And I just feel like, some high value men, high value women, they'll date below. It's nothing wrong with that at all, because I feel like that keeps you human. That keeps you authentic. It makes you not forget where you came from. But for the most part, them people ain't dating nobody at no Burger King. They just not.
I mean, because
No.
you got to think about when it comes down to a high value man, which is one of those terms that it's kind of overused, I think, because I mean everyone has their innate value, I believe. But when it comes down to being a high value man, you look at everything as business versus I'm not acting off of emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you got a big butt and everything, but how can you help me get to what I'm trying to build?
Yeah.
Okay, are you at a place that my investment of time and effort into you is going to bring me a return on my investment? Be it kids, be it a partnership that we can build. So you have to really kind of sort through a lot of, it's like shopping at Marshall's. You can get that really good deal, but you have to kind of like really go through a lot because you have higher standards.
Older too, your standards start to change, right? Because I mean, when you're younger, you're not looking for the same thing. Shoot, I remember being younger.
Exactly.
Be like, look, you look like something.
Yeah,
that's all it took. Yeah, you were cute. Yeah,
I'll take it.
Cute to get you jammed up now. Yeah, when you got shut to loose.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, I don't know. And then even when you are on a certain level and you look at the people around you, do you really want to date them? Sometimes no.
Some don't. Some is too close.
Too
Some
close
is
for comfort.
too.
Too close for comfort.
It's too close, and it's like either they're no longer grounded. They're a little pompous. I don't see, me personally, I don't want that in my life. Like, I don't want, I pride myself on being humble. I don't flash and all this other stuff. It is what it is. So people around me, I look around and I'm just like,
I think also some people go into relationships with this savior complex. They really think that they're about to take their partner and just like, oh, let me pluck you from obscurity and I can fix everything about you. You know what I'm saying? And then Listen, that'll get you hemmed up too, right there. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds like obsession.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
People use the word. I'm sorry, Junie, but people kind of
No, you're good.
push around the whole love thing, and very few people kind of separate love from possessions. Because right now we got like a more possession. This is my person. Like it's funny that people who kind of came from the whole slave thing want to enslave other people to a certain extent because I want this person to do and live by my terms. But at the end of the day, I don't think a relationship is going to really be successful unless both people kind of we're growing together, but we kind of growing at our own pace and we're cool with that.
And you have to be cool with that, and you have to respect that. You can't dictate and delegate. I mean, no.
You're still an individual. You're still an individual.
Yeah, you're a person.
Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
But you see it often, people lose themselves. They lose who they truly are in relationships. Like I've seen certain people that I've known for quite some time, they get in relationships and you like, who the hell, who, huh? Oh, you don't like that no more? Oh, sorry. Like you don't know who, you don't know who they are. And I'm just, and like I said, everybody can't be me, but look, this is what you get. I try.
Like that little Kim song. What you see is what you get. I am not.
I don't think it should be hard. It shouldn't be hard to be with somebody. No. You know what I'm saying? No matter how they look, the different backgrounds, if we can mesh naturally, we good. So everything else kind of is.
And we're not saying you're not going to have bumps in the road, and that's a relationship period. You're coming from different walks of life, and you have differences and difference of opinions and things of that nature. You just have to be open enough to realize that and see that person for who they are and respect their own individual values. I think that's what starts to happen, is that you disrespect this person because you put your values up here and theirs are beneath you. So that in itself, no.
It's crazy that you say that. So this sits on my desk, y'all. So y'all, I'm gonna let y'all in, y'all. So I have these king cards, right? And I did this probably about 2 years ago because I was dating someone and it didn't work out. And I was like, okay, we're not going through that again. So let me be specific with the universe on what I want. Because clearly I haven't been specific. Because I keep getting these.
You have to be specific.
Super details.
Super detailed. So
Super
what I
have to make sure you're also consistent with it. Don't let it change because your mood change.
Right.
Exactly.
You have to definitely be that. And one of the things you said was, okay, so my king, I want him to be respectful. And I basically wrote out all these different things. So if you are single, like I do mind hacks to try to get me to stay on a positive vibration. So I did these. I have the queen ones too, y'all, in my purse. I carry those around with me. That queen energy. I carry that queen energy around with me. But for the most part, my king, he sits right here next to me. And these are the different characteristics that I would like him to have. And I'm not going to go through all of them or whatever, but you brought up a good point. And it just makes me feel like, versus having these rules and these standards when it comes to interracial dating or age gap or, somebody not, being the same religion as you, because that's the thing too, or somebody not being the same status or whatever. It's about connection.
Yes.
Connection, compatibility, because, and chemistry. The thing about chemistry, you can have chemistry with a lot of people because it's a lot of people that you've dated and you kind of had chemistry with, but you didn't have a connection with, or you weren't compatible. But when it comes to having a connection and being compatible, that's a whole different ballgame. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you take on the stance of being in a relationship for those reasons and, kind of growing with that person because of those reasons, because y'all have a connection and that person allows you to be yourself and the compatibility is off the chain and she ain't checking for you and you upstairs, she downstairs, she ain't trying to go through your phone, worrying about what you like.
But that's all insecurity stuff. That all
right.
That's insecurity stuff. And that's projection. They project their own stuff.
Projection bias.
That's when it's toxic. That's
Yeah.
when it's toxic.
Definitely.
When you just have all that stuff going on within you, and you projected it onto the relationship. So that in itself, look, that's a whole nother episode.
It
in
is.
itself.
I agree. But I just feel like connection and compatibility kind of takes care of the whole thing on if you should talk to them or not, no matter what color they are. And then the next thing is, when it comes to being with somebody, respect. Because respect covers a whole multitude of sins, y'all. If you respect somebody, you're not going to disrespect them by cheating or by, being deceitful or dishonest or anything like that. You're going to have a conversation. You're going to agree to disagree. That person may, want to take a break. Be honest and say, hey, I want to take a break. That's what respect does. So that's how I feel about the relationship thing.
The way you said cheating. Kendrick don't agree with that because Kendrick don't believe in monogamy, right?
I do.
But for Kendrick, he like, what's that?
But you're not cheating.
Kendrick,
I'm honest about my.
Know.
Yeah, I'm off the dribble.
Yeah, so it won't be cheating because you're telling them.
So it's not cheating. I'm letting you know exactly. I date other people. So.
Got it.
But the respect comes in where like you're like, okay, well, I'm going on a date tonight. It's not like, oh, I'm just going out tonight. I'm going out with the boys. Like that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all have that relationship and that back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like it's all good.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I agree.
I agree.
Because I think we kind of like put relationships in like one box. It has to be 1 + 1. That's not how it works.
It's what you make of it. There are certain things that certain people do, and I'm just like, oh, okay, if that works for you. I've seen married couples have their own bedrooms.
Yes.
Oh, if that works for you, it is what it is. It's what you make it. It's none of your. If it works, why not?
I saw an article about a couple. They have separate houses. And it's like, it's like down the block from one another, but like, cool, no, this is my house, this is your house. Like, and cool I mean, the shit, if it makes sense, I guess.
As long as we own both the houses, I'm cool.
Not expensive, but hey,
I ain't mad at them because
if you got it. Make it happen. Whatever works.
I like to be by myself sometimes. I don't want nobody.
Exactly.
I think everybody does. I think everybody needs that moment. I think everybody needs that time alone. Everybody needs that boy time, the girl time, girls' night out stuff. I don't see anything wrong with stuff like that. I don't see anything wrong with it. There's
also things that they don't like prepare you for. Like once you get in a relationship that could potentially be issues. Like, so for example, when Christy and I, like we got married, we're in the same house now, we live together, but like decor has to be a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Wow, you can't just slap some shit on the wall.
Right. You know what? That you're creative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a problem with nobody else.
Somebody who's not as creative as you are, they don't give two rep. I can't say I've like been with somebody. Oh my God, you put the red with the no.
Listen,
it's because you're a creative person.
Let's throw something up, right?
Stuff like that, Matt. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, though. It's a lot of things that you have to compromise just living with somebody. Period.
Yeah.
I wasn't with anybody for 3+ years, and then moving in, I was like, oh.
Because
this is different. This is different.
You gotta run stuff over. I accumulated so much shit. It was like, can I have that closet? It's like you trying, but you like, so you gotta get out of your own way, kind of thing. Like, look, your couple now, your partner. It's gonna be hard. Look, I got a lot of stuff.
But not only that, Martine, not only the space part of stuff, but space in the sense of I've been by myself, even though I've dated.
Stuff. Yes.
I haven't lived with anyone outside of Faith and Chad since 2015.
And you can tell them what to do.
And what your kid gonna tell you? You decorate for your kid and with JCI, but who cares? He don't care.
Right, absolutely.
It's a big difference.
I fall asleep on the couch all the time without nobody being like, come on, baby, take a shower. Come on, come on. I ain't got to worry about none of that. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, and I know it's going to be an adjustment when
it is.
Time comes.
I'll tell you now. It is. I was
let me
like,
tell y'all, I'm a damsel in distress. I'm looking forward to. I'm tired of being by myself. I'm absolutely, and I feel like. So we can talk about this.
I can't wait. So make sure you tell us when you are no longer by yourself and y'all make the move. Because I want to have an episode about the transition.
Listen, I have a great potential. Different. I have a great potential that's
okay, good.
Kind of been good.
I'm excited.
He's good, and I'm kind of like, okay, you know, like Lord of the Rings when that thing. He got me like tuned in, like okay. Okay. And the thing was, you know, I feel like the energy, like the economics of a relationship, for me, I'm gonna be totally 100 with y'all. I don't want to be by myself no more because I don't want to keep paying all these bills by myself. That's one.
I can't deal with you. I can't deal with you at all.
The rent too damn high.
I can't deal with you. Hell no. Nah, hell no. That sounds like a.
Be more than that. No, it gotta be more than that.
That sounds like a bad damn deal there.
Kendrick said that sounds like a bad damn deal there.
That's a bad deal.
But that's not the only reason why I want to be with somebody. I do want companionship.
Don't lead with that. Please don't leave with that.
I know you led with that, so that sounds real crazy.
Let me tell y'all something. It's a lot of people that's still with people that they have no business with, that they're only with them because they can't leave them. But listen, I'd
rather struggle by myself.
I'm not saying I want
it's more comfortable
so they can pay the bills. I'm saying it's easier. I don't care what y'all say on this phone. It is so much easier to be able to live with somebody and be able to share the responsibilities of being an adult.
Yeah, I don't know. It comes. It's such a give and take. It's such a give and take. What are you willing to give, and what are you going to take? You're going to have to take something that you don't want to take.
I don't like being by myself anymore, and I feel like one of the reasons why I'm super, super ready is because I'm tired of being single and paying all these bills by myself.
Yeah, I see. and we go back to that again, and that shit is not appealing.
Oh my God, you cannot.
I mean, I will say,
I'm telling you,
there was a significant release once me and Chrissy got together and we was in the house together. I was like, all right, I could save a little bit more. Like, I mean, it wasn't a perk that I was looking for, but once it came, I ain't sent it back.
I'll take it.
You excited, like, oh shit, this what it's like. That's how I felt. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Started eating crab legs and shit.
Thank you. Yes.
Good neighborhood.
Listen, the good salmon from the actual seafood department. Yeah. They wrap that shit in that brown paper.
Other people won't say. I'm just saying what other people won't say. It is so much, like Kendrick always say, when you get married, you're signing a business contract.
Yeah,
and
if
I sign up for that, I want somebody who's stable. And I want somebody who don't mind, I don't want no stingy ass nigga.
Money, please.
You know what?
How much you need? This much.
At the end of the day, that's cool. We gotta sit down. Okay, when you ask for that comes with some goddamn, some trade-offs.
That's not the only thing that I'm looking for, though. I'm not. I mean, I could easily be a sugar baby or something like that. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is when I do settle down, that is definitely on one of my king cards. I want somebody that is going to help me with the responsibilities of being an adult. I definitely do. But the connection and the compatibility has to be there, because I'm not gonna just be with somebody because they pay the bills. I can't do that, because that's torture as well. Being with somebody
that really is.
You don't even like that.
Right, exactly.
That really is.
Yeah. So I wanted to definitely clear that up. But man, I'm trying to tell y'all, the economics of being in a relationship is just. I said 2023. I'm not. I ain't gonna be single.
The buck stops here.
I mean, but it is hard. It's very hard. So I agree with that.
It is.
I agree with that. I've done it. And I've done it when I had people. So
yeah.
I mean, for me, I don't know. When I got this, I was like, oh, I didn't know what to do with it. Wait,
I know that's right.
Oh, I pay? Oh, I don't pay.
I love it. I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
As long as it works. If it works for you, it works for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So to round out this conversation, we're just basically saying all the same thing. Like you have to know what you want and what you don't want.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
And you got to stand on that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what size, what age, what package, what color. None of that matters.
It doesn't.
When it comes to the individual. And you have to not care what people think or what people are going to say. Especially if it's somebody outside of your culture or outside of your race or outside of what you're normally used to dating or what people normally see you dating. You have to be okay with people may be having questions about it or whatever the case may be, or people not understanding. You have to be okay with that going into it. I think that's the moral of the story today. What y'all think the moral of the story is today?
I agree. I feel like, I mean, regardless of who you end up in a relationship or situation with, other than yourself, you always going to have a learning curve, and there's going to have to be some type of adjustment because there are no two people that are exactly alike, even if they're super similar. So I think that's one of the things when you are tackling an interracial relationship and when you're tackling any relationship, what are you getting into and can you be down for the ride? And if the answer is yes, then more power to you. Congratulations.
I think the connection kind of trumps everything else. Because, I mean, once you're in the right synchronicity with somebody else and y'all, like, building towards something, everything else on the outside, just stuff on the outside.
I agree. And just staying true to yourself and respecting the other person and making sure that, you not letting outsiders dictate your relationship. Your relationship is your relationship. And you dictate, you and your partner, what that is and what that means to you. And just staying loyal to the process. You stay loyal to the process, everything else will fall into place. And that's all I have to say. And make sure you have some coins, as Tawan would say.
Yup. Don't be bringing your broke ass round here.
Look. Don't come in here with an empty wallet or an empty bag now. Don't come with a Gucci belt. Don't come with a Gucci belt. There ain't nothing in that Gucci knapsack, boo.
Nothing.
Yeah, you definitely got to have a plan. You definitely got to have a plan. Plans take money.
Well, that's all for this episode of Hey Cousin. We love y'all as always, and I think we are winding down this season. So I hope you guys have enjoyed season 2. Remember, please continue to send in your listener letters to Hey Cousin, HEYYYY cousin @gmail.com. And we love y'all. And on 1, 2, 3, hey cousin. Man, y'all gonna get this shit together.